Chapter 1. We are under hostile occupation. Dedication. This book is written in honor of the many brave researchers and writers who have been marginalized, deplatformed, ridiculed, censored, banned, fired, and even killed for asking simple, common-sense questions about the world we live in. I've read a lot of books on supernatural, extraterrestrial, and subterranean reptilians. I was 27 years young when I read Children of the Matrix by David Icke. I was a teenager when I read Gods of Eden by William Bramley. Later, I read Bloodline of the Gods by Nick Redfern. I've read many more obscure than these, but as intriguing as these books were, none of them satisfied me. They did not reveal or direct me toward tangible proof of the reality of reptilian beings, physical or supernatural. I'm a practical person. If we are really under occupation by hostile aliens, that would have practical implications for daily life. Or maybe not for you. Maybe you would say it doesn't change the bottom line. I'd still need to pay the rent and put food on the table. I'd still look for someone to share my life with. Or more likely, you're like me, and if you were 100% certain that we were under hostile occupation, you would have a change of plans. You'd want to gather intel on the occupiers, then create a group to defeat or methods to transcend them. But if it is not true, then even just reading about them is a colossal waste of time. We all have the civic responsibility to ask, is it true? This book is my quest to put the topic to rest for myself. If the quote-unquote reptilian agenda is real, we the people must take appropriate action, not just post context-less mystery videos of shape-shifting people online, not just sit, wonder, and rant about it. And if it's not real, we must hold those accountable who are spreading lies. I wouldn't be satisfied living in a society where people can get rich and famous with lies. The current situation is that hundreds of millions, if not billions of people believe in an alien presence in one form or another. But the governing bodies of the world simply ignore this fact. Imagine the same on a smaller scale. Let's say you're living in a small village community of 100 people. 50 of them believe in aliens, but 20 of them are convinced that evil aliens are abducting some of them. Yet the government, a group of 10 elders, does not address the issue at all. Either half of the people in the village are mentally ill and require health care, or they're right, in which case the community should study the phenomenon and act upon it. The fact that neither is happening actually does point to the reality of alien presence and influence. Not addressing the elephant in the room is antisocial, inhumane, even anti-human. If the elders don't believe in aliens, don't they care that half of their community is delusional? And if they do, don't they care to share their knowledge and concerns? I've also been concerned about how people are treated when they talk about an alien or evil presence on Earth. They have been mocked, jeered at, ridiculed, insulted, marginalized, disenfranchised, and even deplatformed. I don't understand this kind of treatment, frankly. If you think that reptilian believers are mentally ill, then instead of mocking them, wouldn't you feel compassion? Wouldn't you want to help them get a grip on reality so that they can have a job, a relationship, and participate in society? Why would you mock the mentally unstable? But if there's any chance they are telling the truth, they deserve attention. Or, if you're not sure whether it's true, at the very least one could keep an open mind. This jeering and shaming of people who think differently has a very bad vibe to it. It's like saying those who dare to have thoughts outside of the mainstream media feed should be derided. That's dumb and obnoxious. The shame around offbeat topics is really a sign that some sort of suppression of knowledge is in fact happening. Antisocial, inhumane, and anti-human trends in society stirred me to write this book. It wasn't reptilians or aliens. I'm more interested in why so many things are happening that nobody asked for. No sentient being would conduct government business the way we have. No loving being would build supermarkets the way they are. Our foods and pharmaceuticals are so toxic they've made generations of people more sick, obese, and dumbed down than ever. The mainstream news programmed into the collective is daily lies. Then they tell us that none of it is lies, and only those dumb conspiracy theorists think so. Elections are supposedly free, and civilized countries are stolen in front of everyone's eyes, and the audience is too apathetic and hypnotized to do anything about it. Any aspect of society reveals an anti-human agenda. Take, for example, architecture 200 years ago and architecture today. Whoever is in charge certainly doesn't like humans that much. And not only on a grand scale, but also on a smaller one, we have anti-human trends. Just a few weeks ago, I heard from a realtor about a local building developer who had threatened the mayor at gunpoint to build houses in a certain area. Permission was at first denied, but after the quote-unquote developers used violence and intimidation, permissions were granted. I had to ask several times if this were true and how it could be true in the United States. I said, we have laws, that can't be true. But it was. We point at other countries as cesspools of corruption, but we'd better clean our own house before pointing fingers. I believe there is a reptilian agenda, a malevolent, hidden influence that is not operating in humanity's best interest. Sure, this hidden influence doesn't have to be reptilian in nature. It could be something else. But the ancient traditions across cultures said they were snakes, dragons, and upright-walking humanoid reptilians. Even though I believe, I am not starting this work with a ready-made answer. The purpose is to share with you my investigation step by step. A mere vague feeling that it's true is not enough for me to act on. I want to know for sure. And if reptilians do in fact live among us, I'd like to know for how long they have been here and the extent of their infiltration. I would also like to learn of already existing groups, people, and beings who might be opposing them. The best attitude for investigation is an open mind, willing to believe either. Despite the dark implications of this book, I have good news to share with you. If the reptilian agenda exists, they are not at a point where they openly show themselves. They are afraid of us. And if they are scared, it means that we are more powerful than we have been conditioned to believe. Throughout my career, I have collected experiential proof that normal people are capable of reality creation through focusing attention, telepathy, psychic perception, remote influencing, precision intuition, remote viewing, healing through laying hands, and access to higher realms. At the same time, there is evidence that the malevolent beings do not have the same powers. This is why they operate in the shadows. This is why their resources and funds are spent on degrading humankind and causing conflict. A people left to their own without outside manipulation tend to prosper. They have no strife between young and old, man and woman, skin colors, etc. Whoever is socially engineering these conflicts has a deep understanding of the limitations of the human mind and exploits them to their benefit. But the human spirit is powerful, and despite billions spent each year to program, influence and manipulate humans, they still have to keep their presence secret. And we still have plenty of people who are awake and making a positive impact.